Peace and prosperity, and welcome back to Earth's Feminine. This is Esaia, and today I want to talk to you guys about bad relationship advice and how you can be more aware of the relationship advice you're getting and how to really filter through what's for you and what's not for you. And I felt called to make a video or talk about this subject because I have been seeing a lot of, there's a lot of coaches and there's a lot of advisors online now. That's just what it is nowadays. And it's not that these coaches and advisors are wrong and you should never listen to them and none of that, because I do believe that we're all needed, we're all necessary, and everybody should not have the same opinion. If the world if thought the same thing and everything was just one way, there would be no duality, there would be no life, there would be no growth, there would be no expansion. And that's the way this universe works. It works in reference to duality and having these opposing types of perspectives and things like that, for people to be able to clearly see, okay, this is what I really want, this is what I really want to create in my life. And so when I come across people online and I see these different perspectives, it's not that I think that these people are wrong. It's that I want people to be able to understand if this message is for you or not. Because what I'm seeing is people just kind of piggybacking on perspectives and ideologies and advice that really doesn't apply to you, right? And so the reason a lot of this advice is popular, or like there's just certain people, there's certain advice that is popular because it's popular, like it's just trending. Maybe the person talking is really pretty, maybe the person talking has a lot of like clout already. Like sometimes things just get popular and mainstream because it's just popular and mainstream, not necessarily because that message actually applies to you and should be applied into your life. So I want to talk about how you can start to see whether or not advice is aligned with you or not. So for example, there is certain coaches, certain life coaches, relationship coaches that will come online and have a perspective. And the one perspective that I specifically see as far as women goes is the clear difference between two different backgrounds of people, right? So to me, right, in my experience, I come from a background in a culture where women have been made to carry a lot of the burdens of life. In the Afro-Indigenous Black community, men have been incarcerated. Women have been pretty much put into this position of being the breadwinner, of being the one who takes care of their men, takes care of their kids. And that's, on a broad scale, culturally, the energetics that I'm coming from and I'm coming out of. So for me, it wouldn't really make sense for me to get advice or coaching from a woman who's going to tell me, you don't need a man, you need to go out and you can go out and make money too. You can go out and be powerful and work hard and have all this money and do all these things, right? Which is a lot of what the feminist movement promotes. So for me, taking on that advice, which is at one point what happened is like women, we just kind of took on advice. I feel like we never really got the chance to take a step back and ask ourselves the question of, hey, does this advice actually apply to me and where I come from and my background and what I need going forward in my life? So me getting advice from a woman or a coach who does not have the peripheral of what an Afro-Indigenous woman coming from the South and that kind of environment, right? If they don't have any understanding of the environment I'm coming from, of the history of my background and my culture and my people, if they don't have a knowledge of that, they're not going to be what is very important to be as a coach. They're not going to be trauma informed. They're not going to be aware of what I have been through so that they can really know at a depth and on a soul level what kind of coaching I need. So this is where I feel like a lot of people can sometimes succumb, or most times succumb in this day and age, to just the popular trendy advice, but they're not really taking into account, okay, is this person informed, and do they really know what I've been through, where I come from? Or is this a woman, or is this a coach that has a different kind of background where the women were still more in like a different kind of situation, right? For example, the other side of the spectrum that I see is like there's women that come from a background where the men were present, the men were there, the men were providing, but they were controlling. They were, over dominant, right? They were like there, but they were abusive, like type of energy, versus where it's more like on the other end of the spectrum, it's more of a neglectful energy where women had to step up. They had to, not that they wanted to, but they had to. Whereas it's like women didn't even get the opportunity on the other spectrum to understand themselves, to know themselves, to feel like they had power, right? So that woman is gonna need the advice and the coaching and the energetics of, yeah, go out and get it. Go out and be powerful. Be a powerful woman. Create whatever you want. You can do it. Like, she needs that. So this is where it's really crucial for you to like reflect and be able to see, okay, does this person really understand me and know where I'm coming from for them to be giving me advice? Because I have been seeing like people reposting things and just online in general of like messages, and there's all kinds of messages around this is how you should approach love and relationships and things like that. And it's like, in order for you to truly know the advice that applies to you and that is good for you, you really need to ask yourself, what is it that you need based off of what you've been through right now, and get honest with yourself about that. Then you need to really understand from there what you desire to have in your life. So, there's also women that coach men, right? Like there's also coaching, and I talked about this in Do You Believe Healthy Men Exist video. There's plenty of coaches for men that are not trauma informed and do not come with a trauma informed perspective for women and for men, right? So there's women who will give you advice and give you coaching, right? Like I recently heard this woman say, like a woman's gonna show you her red flags in the beginning. She's gonna show you if she doesn't allow the father to be in the child's life. She's gonna show you if she likes to go out every night and party, and she's gonna show you. And it's like, okay, like a lot of what you're saying can apply to a scenario where there is no background context, there is no historical trauma there. Like it's just people who were born into a basic lifestyle. And if I'm being quite honest, people who come from upper class lifestyles or more of a Caucasian background, or not necessarily Caucasian, but they don't come from an indigenous background, they're gonna have a more colonized perspective that is not trauma informed. And so that person is not really able to go into the depth or the context or the complexity of what's more there, right? Like what's actually more there that you can discover and know and learn from, so that you can make more sustainable changes in your life, versus you just kind of still touching on things at this superficial level. And I think ultimately that's what I'm getting at here is we don't need any more superficial advice. We don't need any more surface level, watered down, this is what you do and this is da. It's like, no, we need a revival. Like the collective needs a revival of their heart. Like people are walking around closed, hunched over, not open, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. And that is what I believe and what I see is to be the real issue, is like people are not truly connecting anymore. And the connections that are happening are it's only going so deep because there's a blockage. People are not soulfully activated anymore. And that's not our fault. It's because of the way things have gone for a millennia. So, understand that the advice that you're getting and the people that you're listening to, in order for it to truly be deemed as good advice for you, you need to see if it's truly in alignment with, number one, where you've come from, so that people can really understand and know what you've been through. And then it also needs to look at where you are going. Okay, the advice that you're getting and that you're seeking to get should be in alignment with the desire to really and truly know who you are and be able to better merge with another person as far as relationships. So no more surface level, no more superficial bad advice. Get advice from people who really know what you've been through. And obviously, if you're watching my videos and if you're watching this channel is all about recoding and remembering the primordial feminine energy of the planet. And with that, this is something that is going deep. It is not something that I just want to talk about surface level stuff with you, but I want to actually reinvigorate your genetics of who you were born to be, so that your health can improve, your overall life can improve. This is what this channel is for. So I just want to make a video talking about letting you guys know, like, make sure you're getting good relationship advice. Make sure the relationship advice that you're getting applies to you, right? Look at this person's life, look at this person's background, and also look at where you're desiring to go in your life and the things that you're desiring to have in your life. And if that advice lines up with those desires. Because if you're just listening to people because they're trendy and because they're popular and because they look good, it's like, really think about where the advice you're getting is coming from. Is it just something that the media wants the world to know? And this is like super crucial for you to really, really, really ask yourself and understand. because I saw this really heavily last year when they had this big blow up of the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial thing going on, which was like a relationship or a divorce being put on blast. And like, there's a lot of manipulation that can go on in the context of like who's right, who's wrong, what's the right thing to do, what's the wrong thing to do. And it's like you have to really be able to see into the depth of what's happening and not just piggyback off of what everybody else thinks. So in that case, everybody thought Amber Heard was a spawn of Satan, you know, and Johnny Depp was like poor Johnny, you know what I'm saying? But when I actually went into looking at the case and looking at what happened in the case and like the scenario, it was like both people had issues, like really crazy issues. But the trending topic was that Amber Heard was a demon. So this is kind of like the same thing that I feel like is going on when it comes to advice. And don't think that there isn't an agenda going on around masculinity and femininity and relationships and gender roles and the identity crisis that people are going through and the LGBTQ thing, right? Community, whatever. Like all of that is tied together, and there is absolutely an agenda to confuse sorry, I've been cursing a lot on this channel, to confuse people about who they are and their identity and feeling empowered in that. So empowered that you're able to call forth your divine half, your divine counterpart, that person that when you come together, you are just that much more powerful. You think that they want everyone to find their one? You think that they want the twin flame reunion or powerful families and powerful, like, no, there is absolutely an agenda to destroy families, to destroy love being present and eminent, because that is powerful. Being in love and having a strong family and a strong community, like that is epic. That is epically powerful. And so this is why it is so important for you to make sure you're not just taking advice and listening to these trends, and you're really letting these things filter through your heart. And if you don't know where your heart stands or your heart sits with these things, then you need to do some heart activations, and you need to start working on that area of your life so that you can be able to know what's really true for you. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you are interested in working with me and learning more about recoding or remembering your primal feminine energy and the primordial feminine energy of the planet, I am now opening the doors to a renewed program that is called Redemption. Redemption is a 7-week experience that is reigniting your memory of the miracle codes to regenerating your cells. So this is the beginning of activating your feminine energy in totality, is getting back in tune with your body and the messages that your body is sending you, and understanding how to be healthy and be energized and activate that sovereignty that we all should have over our bodies. This is something that I am going to be doing from November 20th into December. So now is your chance to enroll into Redemption through emailing me at weare@earthfeminine.com or sending me a message on Instagram to let me know that you're interested. in joining this program. So the doors are only going to be open because this is going to be a live weekly group coaching experience. So the doors are going to be open for a limited time, and then I'm going to be moving on and doing something else. So if you're interested in being a part of this, if you're interested in learning the miracle codes that I have applied into my life that has literally allowed me to age backwards over the past decade of my life, then this is the program for you. So yeah, send me a message or an email, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. What do you guys think about the relationship advice that is out there right now? How does it hit you? Do you feel like there's a lot of bad advice out there, or there's a lot of good advice? What are your thoughts? I would love to hear it, and I will see you all in my next video. Peace.